control mobility and hook line, we can have her rock her knees from side to side, and we can use a technique of slow reversals or slow reversal hold from side to side. So that's what I'll demonstrate first. All right, so what you're going to do is move your knees from side to side, and I'm going to give you a little bit of resistance, okay? All right, so now this time I want you to pull away and push back, and pull away and push back, and pull away and push back, pull away. This time I want you to go all the way over, and now push back, all the way over. Keep going all the way over and pull away, and now push back. And in order to go all the way over, you need to pivot those hands, pull away and push back, and then you're going to pivot to finish the range, pull away and push back, and pull away and hold, and now push back, all the way over, and pull away and hold and push back, all the way over, and pull away and hold and relax. So in that case, I added the hold in one direction, and that would be for the case where she had a weak left medius and I needed to improve the strength of the medius on this side. You need to be sure that you're half kneeling far enough at the base so that when the knees come by, you're not blocking the knees with your own knee there. And you also, as I pointed out, need to be sure that your manual contacts are in the direction of the movement, and then they make the shift to your heels, come back over, and then as she goes all the way over, you have to pivot those hands around so you're able to resist it throughout the whole range. And you're going to shift back again. Pull away and pivot and shift and pivot. So there's a lot of motion of your hands in order to stay with that range, going from full one side to the other side. The next activity we're going to do is bridging, pelvic elevation. I'm going to use a technique of slow reversals to help her get into the bridge position. All right, so Trish, what I'm going to have you do is you're going to lift your hips off the mat. I want you to lift them up as high as you can and then let them go down slowly, okay? And I'm going to give you a little bit of resistance to that activity, all right? So I want you to now lift up and now go down slowly. And lift up again and down slowly. And lift up, all the way up, keep going, and down slowly. And lift up and down slowly. And up and down slowly. So your hands move from the top of the pelvis to the back of the buttocks, resisting the downward direction. It's important to make sure that you cup over the ASIS, otherwise, particularly in really thin people, it can be painful if you're pressing down onto their pelvic bone. So you want to kind of have this cup position, or if that doesn't work, if it's still uncomfortable, you can pad them with a pillow or a towel roll over the pelvis. As she starts to leave the ground, what you're going to do is give a little stretch, so lift up, and right there, stretch her all the way up, and then you're going to give stretch in the reverse direction to have her go back down, and lift up. And what you're looking for is a nice steady rate, the same rate in both directions, and lift up and down. You need to be in a half kneeling position at the side of the patient so that you can use your leg to help with the shifting rather than in kneeling where you're just straight bending over at the waist, which would not be really very good for your back. For bridging, we can also use a technique of agonistic reversals, which focuses a lot more on the eccentric control that you need in the hip extensors, which is particularly important for sitting down activities or descending stairs. All right, so Trish, this time I'm going to have you lift your hips all the way up. Come on up, and then I want you to go down slowly. And now up again, all the way up and down slowly. So you never move your hands. They remain on the anterior pelvis. Up again. And you're providing resistance all the way down, and it's her job to go down slowly. Up, all the way up, and now down slowly. And again, just as in slow reversals, the timing of it should be such that it's an equal pace for both the assumption of posture and then going back down. Once more, up again, and down slowly. in bridging, we can begin stability work by holding in the posture and doing alternating isometrics. In alternating isometrics, you can apply resistance in a medial-lateral direction or in an AP direction. All right, so Trish, what I want you to do is come up into the bridge position, and I want you to hold right here. Don't let me push you away from me. Hold tight, hold, hold, and now don't let me pull you back and toward me. Hold again, hold, and don't let me push you away. Hold, hold, and don't let me pull you back and toward me. Hold, hold, and now down slowly. It's important not to do too many repetitions because this is a pretty stressful, tiring activity, and it's also important to remember to remind the patients to breathe regularly and not hold their breath, which is a very common occurrence with this activity. We can also do alternating isometrics in an AP direction in which you're resisting down and having her hold that position. So let's have you come up into a bridge position, and don't let me push down. Hold tight, hold, hold, and now don't let me pull up. Hold, hold, and don't let me push down. Hold, hold, and don't let me pull up. And now down slowly. All right, we can also change where we put the manual contacts, and if we apply the resistance to alternating isometrics at the knees, you will get a lot more of lower extremity activity involved. All right, so we're going to do that again, Trish. I'm going to have you come up into the bridge position. I want you to hold this position and don't let me push you away. Hold tight, hold, hold, and now don't let me pull you toward me. Hold again, hold, hold. Once more, don't let me push you away. Hold, hold, and now down slowly. All right, we can increase the difficulty in this activity by narrowing her base of support. So in the upper trunk, what I'm going to do is have her use a prayer position, and then in the lower extremities, I'm going to bring her feet closer together and not have them turned out. And this will increase the demands for the stability of the trunk and the hips. All right, so I'm going to have you come up into the bridge position. I want you to hold that position. Don't let me push you away. Hold tight, hold tight, hold, hold, and now don't let me pull you toward me. Hold again, hold, hold, and don't let me push you away. Hold, hold, and down slowly. And I can make this activity more difficult yet by moving my hands down toward the ankles and applying resistance down here. So let's have you come up into a bridge position, and now don't let me push you away. Hold tight, hold, hold, and don't let me pull you toward me. Hold again, hold, and don't let me push you away. Hold tight, and what you're looking for is to make sure they don't sink out of the bridge position, that they're able to hold that up tight. And now don't let me pull you toward me. And down slowly. We can further increase the difficulty for lower trunk stability by allowing her to do the bridging on the ball. So she's going to start in sitting, and what I'm going to have you do, Trish, is now walk down so that the ball is resting in the middle of your back. Keep walking, right about there. Good. Now I want you to hold your hips up, and now bring your feet just a little closer together, and hold up tight. Good. And now the difficulty comes in that she has to control her base of support by controlling the ball. And you'll notice that she's doing a little substitution here by having her hands down on the mat. So we're going to make this more difficult by having her hands up in a prayer position. I just want you to hold steady in that position. This is probably a difficult enough activity that you don't need to give any resistance, but you could apply some resistance and see how she does with resistance and stabilization activity. All right, walk back up to sitting now. And we can use TheraBand in this position, bridging on the ball, to increase the stabilization activity of the hip abductors and lower trunk muscles. And what she has to do now is control her base of support and control her posture and maintain the hip position against the resistance of the TheraBand.